Today we're going to be reviewing the Apple iPad 5, also known as the Air. Now the Apple iPad 5 comes in a 16, a 32, a 64, and a 128 gigabyte storage options. Also options include excuse me, the Wi-Fi only versions. They include the LTE version, and they come in white or in black. The iPod Air, as compared to the iPod, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that out of there. The iPod 4, as we'll take a quick little look, you'll notice immediately that size-wise, the iPad Air is much smaller. Same width, much smaller. As far as thickness, I don't know if you can get a good idea of that, but the iPod Air is much, much thinner. As a matter of fact, it is 20% thinner, and weight-wise, it is 28% lighter. So when we look at our iPad 4, which we're looking at right here, you've got a very decent tablet. We did a review on that not so long ago. Well-made, high-quality tablet. Rock-solid construction. But one of the things you're going to see in comparing these two tablets is the bezel that goes around. That's this black ring or white ring in the case of the Air, is much smaller. As a matter of fact, it is 43% narrower, which allows them to have a larger screen. And as you can see, they put that smaller section on the top and on the bottom rather than reducing the sides. So the 43% reduction is occurring in here. Right in here, if you're looking at that one from far away. I don't know if you can see that very clearly, but right here, we've reduced the bezel. And so they're able to maintain the dimensions of the screen while at the same time making the overall footprint or size of the tablet much smaller. That also makes the tablet much lighter. This particular tablet only weighs 16 ounces. It is light. I thoroughly enjoy the lightness and the thinness and design of this tablet. Nice contours, well-made angles. The vision, that is the quality of your screen is 1536 by 2048, which is identical to that of the iPad. Matter of fact, many of the features on the iPad 5 or Air is the same as that of the iPad 4. Noticeably different, though, is that of the processor. On our iPad 4, we had a dual-core processor, a 1.4 gigahertz. The new iPad, the iPad Air, is running on an M7 processor, 64-bit processing. Now, if you remember your old the old days of a 32-bit processor in your laptop or in your PC, they eventually moved to a 64-bit processor to give you a lot more processing abilities, as is the case with the iPad 5, the Air. When you compare the two, when you run them side by side, often you will not notice a tremendous improvement in processing speed and in the way that it handles it. However, when you get into deep situations, and what I mean by deep situations, you're multitasking heavily, or you're playing a game that's heavy in graphics and requiring much more in the way of processing power, why you will notice a sharp increase over the iPad 4 with the new Air. It is a workhorse. It is a very nice tablet. One thing they did also different between the two, on the iPad 4, I had to buy my word processing programs, Numbers and Pages and Keynote. Whereas with the new iPad 5, those come free. That's a nice improvement. They call that the Iwork Suite. And it consists of Pages, which is like Microsoft Word, Numbers, which is like Excel, and it also comes with Keynote, which is, excuse me, a very, very nice program. As far as construction, like you would expect from any of the Apple products, it's rock solid. Rock solid. You will not find higher quality in your components than you do with your Apple products. However, having said that, let me just explain real quickly. Apple does not include bells and whistles. There are no flash, there's no pizzazz with the Apple products. What you get is a rock solidly built unit. Its App Store provides you with really good quality apps. The standard mail program, as an example, I don't think it's very efficient. I had to replace it. I use Boxer. Overall, as far as the quality of the tablet and the operating system, iOS 7, rock solid. Only using 1 GB of memory, same as what you'll see in many other tablets, but most tablets are moving to the 2 or even 3 GB. So when I first saw that the Apple Air was only going to come with 1 GB, I was a little skeptical. I'm not kidding you there. I was a little skeptical if this new processor could manage in such a way that it could manage with 1 GB of memory installed, and yet surprisingly it does. It does operate just fine with 1 GB. I do not notice any processing and memory issues whatsoever. Price-wise, for the 16 GB, you're going to pay $4.99. For the 32, you're going to pay $5.99. For the 64, you're going to pay $6.99. And for the 128, you're going to pay $7.99. Now, if you want to add LTE, that is 3 and 4G service, you're going to add $130 to each of those numbers that I quoted you. $130 for LTE. Now, as I stated before, it uses the M7 64-bit processor. That is compared to a 1.4 gigahertz processor found in the predecessor, the Apple iPad 4. As far as weight, 16 ounces, very thin, less than 1/3 of an inch thick. Now, as far as the camera is concerned, again, I'm going to pick on Apple. I think that they can absolutely rise above. There are so many other tablets out there providing good quality forward-facing and rear-facing cameras. Apple still is lagging behind. 1.2 megapixel front-facing, 5 rear, and there's no flash, and those are the same specs as you find on the Apple iPad 4. So there's nothing new under the sun, as they say, with the camera. And having said that, I find that the camera picture quality and the software are not all that good. Just my opinion, but I'm going to be honest about it. A 9.7-inch screen. You've got a Retina tablet screen at 1538 by 2048, Bluetooth 4, LTE or Wi-Fi. Comes with GPS, an ambient light sensor, a gyroscope, an accelerometer. Nice. The only slot you're going to find on this tablet, other than the earbud slot, is the lightning connector, which is proprietary to Apple. You will not be able to utilize this slot for much. They do make a couple of adapters on Amazon. You can get a few, and on Apple. They do make a USB adapter. However, that USB adapter will only let you use it for videos and for pictures, and they must be of a certain type, JPEG on the pictures, and I believe it's MPEG 4 are the only types that you can use with that adapter and that will be recognized by Apple. Now, having said that, they do make a HDMI adapter for it, so you can plug that in and you can stream this to your high definition television. As far as battery life, I was really surprised. I expected not a lot different than the iPad 4, which does give you 10 hours of moderate use or light use. You do get the same 10 hours, but I found under a lot of circumstances you can go as many as 13 hours on this unit. So in comparing the two, this one certainly does give you more hours. 10 solid hours of light use, 8 solid hours of heavy use. The charge is quick, it's beautiful, no problems whatsoever. As far as the pros to this unit, one of the cons, of course, is price. It is not a cheap tablet. But one of the pros with this tablet is it's durable. You're not going to find better construction than you are on these Apples. They're just rock solid. I don't want to beat that phrase into the ground, but the actual quality that you get in your tablets with Apple are rock solid. It is light, it is thin, it's a sexy looking tablet. You get the new lightning connector, which was introduced in the iPad 4. It's being carried over. I'd still like to see a USB, a micro USB on here, and I'd like to see some storage with SD cards. None. You get nothing. I have this one over here. It is a 16 gigabyte unit. This one is a 64. Definitely, I would never ever buy another 16. I didn't buy that to keep, so I don't feel bad about that. But just so that you know, when you load some programs on here, you get a little heavy on your programs or some big programs or big games. Why you're going to fill that 16 up pretty quickly. So just be aware that you do have the option of getting a 32, a 64, or 128 as opposed to that 16. So if you are going to go with an Apple iPad Air, which I highly recommend, do increase your storage capacity. Pay a little more, get it now. Don't try to cheat on the dollars on the front side just to regret it on the back side. Again, you have with Apple, you have the Siri. You have a very deep marketplace. Another pro is this decreased bezel, which allows you to shrink the profile of the tablet, making it lighter, making it narrower, 20% thinner, and 28% lighter than that of the iPad 4. Again, it comes with Iwork Suite, which is Pages, Numbers, and Keynote, and again, rock solid construction. I think that Apple makes a fantastic product. I really do. I would like to see more bells and whistles like you see on the Samsung Note 10 or the 8, the 2014 edition. I think that building some of that into their tablet will give them a little more market share. I also believe that go ahead and S Pen this thing. Let's put an S Pen in there and let's really do it up right. And let's get that camera up. I mean, let's really consider bringing up that camera. The iPad Air, when it was first introduced, didn't come with a lot of accessories. They were very hard to find. You are starting to find some keyboards for it. This is a very inexpensive one, which I may review later. Logitech just now came out with their keyboard, which, hey, I'm jumping on that, and for $99, it's a little on the pricey side, but it's a fantastic keyboard. This one's nice too. There's just some things I wish it had, but I also wish there were some things that the Logitech had that this one does. When you snap this in, it actually locks, which I like that. If you just watch here, you slide that in there, it actually locks right in there. You don't have to hold it. There's not a magnetic strip like on the Logitech. I actually quite enjoy that. I like it a lot. Anyhow, there are some apps, as I said, coming out on the market. They got a nice leather case, genuine leather. But the iPad Apple 5, called the Air, again, $499 for the 16 gigabyte unit. You can get it with LTE for an additional $130. A solid thumbs up. Apple products do get solid thumbs up as a general rule. We will be reviewing the Mini here in the next few days. Thank you very much.